everyone, and welcome to Are We Doing This? I'm Lauren Parajon.
And I'm Lauren Butler.
We're two millennial moms on the brink of 40, looking for new ways to shake things up.
We're here to challenge ourselves, each other, and you to get out of our comfort zones and try something new.
So if you've caught yourself wondering, what's next? You're in the right spot.
So are we doing this?
Looks like it. Let's get into it. Welcome.
Episode 6. We are back in action. Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday. Yesterday, for some reason, felt like a Friday, which is very strange for a Monday. I think it's because it was 74 degrees. So in my brain, it was like patio margaritas. I don't understand why I'm going to pick up my kids from school right now. So yeah, it felt like a weird, the weather, and it felt like Friday energy to me.
Yeah. I don't know. I had some Monday energy yesterday for sure.
Usually it's a Monday energy kind of thing for me, but
yeah,
something about yesterday felt really good. I biked to like Old Town is this really cute area of our town, like our downtown. And I biked, it was like a 25-minute bike ride with a friend, and we went out to lunch on a patio and biked back before we got the kids. But I just had Friday vibes. Today feels like Monday, but it's Tuesday, so
yeah. That sounds lovely. That sounds awesome. My husband got back in town after being gone all weekend, and so
how many days did you just solo parent?
So I've been solo Thursday night, Friday, Saturday, and then he got back late Sunday night.
Okay.
After the kids were in bed, which is
both
critical.
Kids are no sicknesses this weekend?
No, everybody's healthy. Thank God. We got through that. I feel like everybody I know right now has sick kids. I think
I'm telling you, this season this is the worst sick season in our school. Right? I'm telling you, people have walking pneumonia, people have flu, people have strep, no one even has COVID anymore. We just have all this other stuff that feels worse. It's so
over COVID. Yeah, I'm on a text thread with school moms, and I have one kiddo with pneumonia, norovirus, a whole family with norovirus, stomach flus, more, and then whatever Elliot had last week, which I don't even know, but it was it was either the flu or something. So a blast.
Rough. So how'd you survive solo parenting? I know we kind of talked briefly about how we become these different type of parents when we're solo parenting.
Yes, I feel like it's like, because I know I'm solo and I have to like put energy into it to make it work. I feel like I just throw all my energy into it. And so I'm like fun mom, I'm like adventurous mom. And also if I just keep my kids home too long when I'm solo, I just everybody goes crazy. So I feel like I have to plan things out of the house. We have to have activities because that keeps everybody high energy, and it makes the days go by quicker. My kids also wanted to do a sleepover. So my kids don't share a room, but the whole weekend they did. So my son slept under my daughter's lofted twin bed. So they made it bunk beds, and we got the sleeping bags out because of course that makes it more exciting. Of course. And it makes it feel like you're camping. Yeah. So I was fun. My daughter was like, "Thanks for letting us do this, Mom." And I was like, do I always say no? Am I is this that rare?
That's funny.
But I think they had a lot of fun. And so, we had a good weekend, and everybody mostly held it together. That's good. We had some meltdowns at the end of the weekend, but par for the course.
I mean, that's the Sunday scaries.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. Sundays, the week is creeping up and everybody's starting to feel it. So, yeah. Yeah.
My husband, when he goes out of town, we do that. We'll get the air bed and put it in the living room and have a slumber party. And they want me to sleep down there too. But with my own sleep problems I already have, then you add a couch to that. And I'm like, this will not work for me. So I make them think I'm sleeping down there. And then I'll sneak up to my room to get some actual sleep. But they love it. They just think an airbed on the ground is so even though ours has a hole in it, it's half deflated by the time they wake up. It's like, I don't know why I didn't buy a new one yet. Yeah. But they love it. So
it's a little thing sometimes for little kids. Like, that's all they need.
Notice? Okay, this is a weird thing I noticed. When my husband goes out of town, I can keep the house so clean, even though out of the two of us, he's definitely the cleaner person. But I think when we're both home, in my head, I'm like, well, he didn't clean that up, so I'm not going to clean that up. And I'll just play this game of if he doesn't see that mess, I don't see that mess. So we'll just do this game of eventually the house is just a disaster, and then one of us will cave, usually, or we don't, and just stays messy. But when he's out of town, right when he leaves, I clean everything. And then
really,
there are barely any messes the whole time he's gone, because
That's so funny.
I don't know why. It's easier for me to just immediately clean it.
Because you just
know I'm the only one who's going to. Yeah.
That's so
I don't know.
funny.
I think that's so strange. I'm like, when do you go out of
That's
town again?
awesome.
No, not really.
No, I don't really necessarily do that. I try to keep it maintained to like some level so that we don't go insane. But
Yeah.
yeah, I just try to go into survival mode. I mean, I don't do much for me, but I like manage, you just go into like full parenting mode a little bit. But it's good. I have a dear friend here who invited me to go to Blacklight Zumba.
That sounds
Very
very
ever
exciting,
Zumba?
actually.
Have you ever Zumba'd?
I have Zumba. My complaint with Zumba is the music. I feel like is meant for an older audience than me.
Yes.
And I'm a terrible dancer. So like,
Okay, you say that.
Oof.
So at this Blacklight Zumba, well, first of all, it's Blacklight Zumba. So it's like they have the lights all off.
It's hip Zumba.
And the black lights are on, and they have like highlighters out so you can like color on your skin little like highlighter tattoos, and then you glow in the black light, and it's fun. The one thing I appreciated about it is that it's dark, so like I feel like I can kind of hide, like nobody can really see me embarrassing myself trying to dance. But I feel like all the music is like old because it's from like college. Like there's like at least three Lil Jon tracks.
No, not when I go to Zumba. When I go to Zumba, it's like ooh, weird 80s stuff. I don't know. It's like, it's not what I want. So every time I go, I'm like, ooh, I don't want to dance to this. I don't like it.
Oh no, ours is like throwback, like our era.
That would be fun.
Yeah. So
but you said it's at like a rec center with an older gathering?
Yeah, I would say the average age of the ladies, and there was one man in our class who was really funny, and he was up front, was probably 50, mid-50s-ish.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, it's like, it's funny. I was telling you guys about it and you're like, ooh, that sounds like being in the club, like Blacklight Zumba. I'm like, yeah, until you realize you're like at your old community rec center and most of the ladies around me are grandmas, which is fine. It was great. It was good.
That's funny.
But it was a very approachable, welcome environment. But it was fun. It was fun to like do something new and embarrass myself a little bit.
Yeah.
And it was a workout, dude. My calves and my, like, there was a lot of squatting.
Yeah.
I was feeling it the next day for sure. And we had a lot of fun. And then the dads, I went with two mom friends and their husbands, we all came to my one friend's house, and then they watched all the kiddos while the moms went, which I really appreciated. Was awesome. So yeah.
See, we did the reverse of that on Friday. My husband and all the dads wanted to go do this golf simulator. There's like a bar in Old Town that does golf simulators or whatever. So they all got together to do that. So all the moms came to my house and we did pajama pizza movie night for the kids. And then we did pajama wine and we ordered like soup dumplings. Have you had soup dumplings? Those are
It's so funny that you say that. I had soup dumplings for the first time in my life on Friday.
No way. I had them. Friday was the second time, but I had them 2 days before that.
Because I was like, I never really knew what soup dumplings are. Oh my gosh, they're so good.
They're so good. I actually bought some. I had my husband buy some at the grocery store yesterday, some frozen ones. I bet they'll be awful. But so we had like classy, well, we were in our pajamas and stuff, but we had like mom night upstairs and we just shut the kids in the basement and let them watch movies and while the dads golfed for a while. So I think it's really good to have that, like, instead of being like, the guys are out and so we're stuck alone with our kids, just to bring it all together. I mean, it was 9 kids at my house.
A lot.
So, but luckily for those of you with young kids, it gets better. I promise. They get to this age now where it's like, okay, they can hang out in the house and entertain themselves. And yes, the playroom might be a disaster, but
totally worth it.
Because the 9 kids range in age from 4 to 10, I think. 9 kiddos, but everyone got along. No meltdowns.
That's awesome.
They were there till like 11. I think we stayed up kind of late until the dads got home and took everybody home. But yeah, it was a good time. And I think it's important to do that. But it's funny when all of us moms go out, our dads don't do that. Like our husbands, they don't all get together. It's like they don't want to deal with all those kids. So they just go be fun dad and do something fun with their own kids.
Each kids. Yeah, but they don't want to get together. That's so funny.
No.
It's a mom thing. It's like, let's all get together and make it like a fun mom thing.
Right. And they're like, no, and I don't want to.
I feel like there is a sweet spot of like, it's better to just get the kids together because they entertain each other.
Right.
But then there's a tipping point. It's like too many kids.
Right.
But then like too little is not enough. You need like the sweet right in the middle spot.
9 was a bit much, but it was fine because they were in the basement. They were fine, but
they had their own space.
The volume was, I was like, okay, downstairs, everybody downstairs. I can't listen to it anymore. It was so loud.
Yeah, that's believable. Yeah, you need that mom time, man. Earlier last week, there were some mom friends of mine who were getting together for like a glass of wine and a snack at a restaurant nearby. Mm-hmm. And it was actually like a really busy night. We had like swim lessons, and my husband had a tennis match. And so like I was like, I can't, but I really wanted to. I was like really overdue for like getting away and just like having some grown-up time. And so we like carved it out in between his tennis match and their swim lessons. I was like, and I told him, I was like, I know this is crazy. Usually I would just say no, but like this would be so nice. And he was like, well, let's figure it out, which God bless him.
Yes.
And so I literally went and sat at a restaurant for 30 minutes exactly
That's
and had
so
one
funny.
glass of wine.
Yeah.
Which feels so silly, but it was so worth it. Like even just that 30 minutes, I was like, oh, okay.
Well, it's just something about having friends who are the exact same phase as you, like with the exact same age kids, or just going through the exact same thing to talk to each other about. And everyone comes from different places with different, walks of life and different things going on in their lives. But it's just fun to just like sit and talk and catch up with wine. It's every mom needs it.
Yeah.
Even if you don't have kids. I'm like, I think this was happy hour. I think this was happy hour before. Yeah. When we worked normal jobs, like
is
without
this what
kids.
they called this?
This is what they called it. That's why it makes you happy. Yeah. It was happy half hour for you, but you got
happy
it in.
Half hour. I love that. But,
you fit it in where you can.
Yeah, I feel like as a busy mom, you just have to fit it in where you can, and it's not happy hour anymore. It's happy half hour, and it's not like even time you have for yourself. It's like it's a micro version of what you used to have, but you just have to take what you can get.
Right. Well, I'm glad you got some happy half hour time.
And how about your weekend? Sorry, we haven't even gotten into yours.
It was just one of those weekends where like you almost need another day because like we have this problem. We do this pretty often where we like weekends are so exciting because there's so much to do in Colorado in this time when like even when it's snowing, you can go snowboarding, you can do all this stuff. But it was great weather, so it was like all right. So Friday we had all the moms and kids over, and the dads went out. Saturday, we took a quick day trip to Estes Park. So it's about 45, 50 minutes from our house. And every day still, every time we drive out there, it's the most beautiful drive. Like, you just like are in these like canyons and like mountains of pine trees lined by just rock formations. And it's such a beautiful drive. And in my head, I think back to when I lived in Texas and I lived in, a Dallas-Fort Worth suburb. And in my head, I was like, if I were to drive 50 minutes from my house in Keller, Texas, where I used to live, I would have made it to Plano, Texas. And like,
that looked exactly the same.
It's just another suburb. But like here, I'm in Estes Park. And like for anyone unfamiliar with Estes Park, it's where they filmed The Shining was filmed at Stanley Hotel in Estes Park. And so was Dumb and Dumber, which is far more exciting to me. Yeah, Dumb and Dumber, like the hotel scenes when they're coming down the stairs and they're in the ridiculous outfits. That's all filmed at the Stanley in Estes. I think in Dumb and Dumber they call it Aspen, but it's in Estes,
Nice.
But so like every time we go there, like I just like I can't wait to show my kids Dumb and Dumber. Like I know it's much more well known for The Shining, but we just did a quick day trip with my parents. Just got coffee and there's like a river walk behind the town, and there's a candy store that has like a golden retriever dog that is always there, but he wasn't there this time. But we just got like lunch and sat by the river and threw snow. There was actually snow down there.
Oh my gosh.
So just a quick day trip, and then came back, and then we had my sister and her husband they had stumbled upon this concert in Netherlands, not Netherlands, but Nederland is a small mountain town not far from here. And they were staying one night and they didn't have anything to do. So like, oh, there's a concert venue. Let's go check out this show. And they said they sent me this video, like a conga line going past them with like very interesting outfits. And I don't think they were real drums. They might have been like Home Depot buckets. Like it was the funniest video. They were like, I don't know what we stumbled into.
And it was like a band?
Yeah.
Like
it's a band called Los Cheesies. Okay.
Cheesies?
Los Cheesies. It's ska kind of, and all in Spanish, but everybody's white, but maybe one guy. It was the weirdest experience. So anyway, they came through Fort Collins and my sister's like, we have to go. So my sister, my brother-in-law, and then myself and my husband, and then we convinced two other couples to experience this band as well.
Oh my gosh.
And a couple people from our book club came. And I don't know if I was prepared, even though I saw video footage of this. It was unhinged. Like it was, I don't know what was happening. Like just the characters themselves. Yeah. It was like 1, 2, 3. There was maybe 7 people in the horns, trumpet, like
whoa,
all like there was like a conga drum guy maybe, and then like a regular drummer guy, and like the main guy was like we joked that he was probably on something to have that kind of energy, because it was like the band, like everyone music, and this guy was just never stopped moving, and he was
ska music, kind of,
ska
but in
question mark.
Spanish.
Yes, ska question
Spanish
mark music in Spanish. Such a weird experience.
So like rocking,
and pulled a much older crowd. So like everyone, but they were on the dance floor. Like these older groupies were on the dance floor. And then the like main guy comes onto the dance floor.
Okay, so they
did do a conga line, and there was just a lot of pelvic thrusting.
Were there like covers of songs that you knew?
Yes,
like...
they played girls, but they were chicas, you know, that one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, some covers. It was an experience.
Wow.
But I will say I was highly entertained.
Okay.
I think they're a very fun, high energy band. I don't regret going, but we only stayed for half of it because we're like, you know what? We saw what we need to see. We could then go to a bar and get margaritas and just like...
We need to go.
Yeah. But it was funny. We had a good time. And so then we were up kind of late, you know, had some drinks. So then Sunday morning, my kids had stayed at my parents' house that night. And all the husbands got up and went out to golf like at 7 a.m. Sunday morning. And I forgot my kids had like 10 a.m. play dates. And it was daylight savings. So like, we lost an hour. So by the time I'm getting up from a night of drinking alone in the house, I was like, oh my God, I can sleep in. Then I realized, oh my God, people are coming over here and my children are not here. I had to just like go pick up my kids really fast, say thanks to my parents, run back, drop the kids off, and then we had all these kids over. Well, not all. We had 3 other kids came over to play. But then we went to the Harlem Globetrotters. Have you ever been?
No.
Okay, I went as a kid once.
So fun.
And
maybe I remember as a kid.
Yeah, I went as a kid. I remember like having a good time. As an adult, it was so fun. Like,
really?
I can't even explain because I couldn't remember exactly. I knew it's like more of a performance than a game. It's like a game within a performance. I don't know how to explain that, but like one guy's mic'd up and just like this hilarious high energy thing. And then like music will come on. So like the Lion King song came on and everyone got down on a knee and the main guy ran into the audience looking for a baby. And then he found one and held it up like Simba. And like,
that's so
we were just
funny.
dying laughing. And then this one guy kept stealing shoes and throwing them at the ref when he was mad. And then he was like, whose shoe is this? And it was this other guy who was sitting just like with his family, and he was like, come out here. And so he went out there and he was like, your new name is Cinderella. And he like got down and put his shoe on like Cinderella. And then they did like, I think it was the Dirty Dancing song, like a whole dance, like
thing?
with the spit, like in this just audience member.
Wow.
He just went with it. Like,
he just went with it? That's amazing.
But it's that kind of stuff. So it's like a whole, it was so fun. And what's funny is that my son is the one who's so into basketball. And my daughter, like, just kind of goes along with it because she's 5 and he's 8. And the whole time, my son was very stoic. Like, he just watched the game. And I think he was trying to learn the tricks they were doing, like, in his head. And then my daughter had a blast. She was laughing and clapping and cheering. Yeah, like, she wanted to go out there and, like, get chosen. But it was really cool to see that she's actually excited about sports. But it could have just been Globetrotters. But
the show, it was entertaining. Who knew?
Super fun. I know. But then by, like, Sunday night, I was wiped. I was like, I'm done. My social battery.
It's so funny too, the way you woke up and you were like that's hangovers when you're old. It's like, oh shit, I forgot to go get my kids.
I didn't even have kids, but the play date's almost here. Yeah. But I felt bad. So usually when my parents watch my kids, we'll like hang out with my parents for a while and, you know, say thanks. But I just kind of grabbed them and left. So I'm like, thank you.
All right, gotta go. I got plans.
Yeah, so
I, like a dodo, totally forgot about daylight savings time.
Oh.
And so when I woke up on Sunday, I was like celebrating. I was like, oh, my kids slept till 7:30. And I was like, amazing. And then I was like, psychologically, of course, I was like, oh, I feel so I got to sleep in. I feel rested. And I was celebrating for like hours.
And then I was funny. Like, yeah. And then you see the clock on the microwave and you're like, shit.
I was like, oh yeah. I was like, oh, that's
so
weird.
Funny.
So it's amazing where if you just
you can placebo your sleep. You can pretend
yourself to convince that you got an extra hour of sleep, then you can just believe that. And then you feel
that's what I should
more
do.
Rested.
Yeah.
So I've scientifically proven by me.
That's hilarious.
Anyway, so that's fun. But I guess maybe that's a good thing. Then I didn't have to feel the pain of it. I just thought it was a miracle.
Yeah. It has been harder to get my kids up for school this week though, because they are sleeping now until, you know, I have to actually wake. Yeah. I have to wake my daughter up and I have to wake up to my alarm too.
I had to wake up my daughter this morning too. It's time to wake up.
Yeah.
So tell me how the challenge stuff is going. How are the marketplaces? Has Amazon gotten back to you? The fourth
Amazon
and
merch on
final.
demand, fourth and final, decline, denied, not approved. So I
What is
think
the deal?
I really don't want to
Why
create
do they
another email
hate you?
address. I'm going to give up.
I
I
can
just
only
feel like
create so many.
I can, because then, I don't go delete them. So they just live.
Mhm,
And then I just
mhm.
have all these email addresses that I won't remember the
Yeah.
passwords to.
Yeah.
So, and the only reason I had created the Etsy store was so that I could say in my application that I have an Etsy store and I
Right.
understand, print on demand. So now my head's like, do I even continue the Etsy store? But I mean, there's no hurt in it sitting there. It's got 0 orders. I made another
Oh,
another
shoot.
design this weekend that I liked. So maybe I'll just let it sit there, and I don't know. I promoted it once, and I did one
Okay.
TikTok video that has like 1,000 views or something, but
Okay.
no sales from that. So I was like, all right.
Oh,
And I would talk to
man.
you about it. I was like, okay, so I just need to come to terms with the fact I need to come to terms with the fact that the designs aren't good, or they're just like not.
No, they're
And
good. They're cute. I think you
they're
just need
cute. I don't know if I would call them. They're not.
I think
You
they're
can tell
cute.
they're
They're
not done
good.
by a designer.
I think they're great. I think that you just need more traffic. I think,
Yeah.
you know what I was thinking about? Have you tried or considered TikTok Shop?
I have not considered selling on it. I've
Yeah.
definitely bought things from TikTok Shop, but I actually have no
Yeah.
idea how I would go about selling on there.
It's a little bit complicated. I've set it up for a client before, but
Yeah.
maybe you could try that, because then if you're promoting on social, people can just
Yeah.
buy like social
Direct
commerce
from there.
directly, like
That's
right
true.
on there, which might be interesting.
It's not a
I don't
bad
know
idea.
if you might be able to plug it in from your Etsy potentially.
Yeah. And then it'd be easier
Um,
to see if any book talk influencers wanted to
Yeah.
support it. That's not a bad idea. So maybe I won't let that dream die.
Don't let the dream die.
We'll see.
Maybe
I
just
think the Amazon dream is dead. Well, that part of it.
Yeah.
But then I realized I was looking at my Amazon and affiliate account, and all of a sudden I saw this tab that maybe has always been there. I just didn't notice, that said promo codes. And I clicked on it, and I have access to all these promo codes, like 50% off or more on random products. And
Huh.
I have seen on TikTok, I've been on TikTok before, where these women are like, here's the promo codes for today, and we'll list like 5 products, all of which are 50% off or more with their promo code. And I was like, where are they getting these promo codes? Because sometimes when there's
They're
a
really
coupon
good.
on the product page plus a promo code, you
Yeah.
can get things
You can
for,
like stack them.
yeah, to where they're like a $40 thing's like $5. So it's like, even if I don't need that, I should probably just buy it because it's $5. So that's where my brain goes.
Yeah.
Because I have a problem. But so I was looking at that and I was like, okay, so now I have access to promo codes.
Yeah.
But again, as we talked before, I'm not just going to post this on my Facebook, like that's
Like you don't want
weird.
to push that out to your personal audience.
Not to just regular,
Yeah.
So then I was
weird.
like, all right, I'm just going to set up first I was setting up a separate Instagram, and then I was like, that was dumb because you can't put links on Instagram. So then I would have to have like a link tree and update that. Anyway, I switched to Facebook and I started a Facebook page and just started posting, a bunch of stuff. So then I finally was like, all right, I'm going to put it on my personal Facebook page and just, it felt tacky because right now people are trying to shop local and not support Amazon and Target and whatnot. And I totally understand that and sympathize with that. But I have these opportunities also to try to make some money. So I finally just put on my Facebook like, hey, I have access to all these promo codes. So when you can't shop local, if you need any of the stuff, may as well get it discounted. So I'm hoping it wasn't too tacky.
No, I don't think that's tacky. It's like, it's a separate page. They can choose to follow it or not. You're just letting them know like it's there. If you're interested, go follow over there. And over there is where I'll talk about that. And then that's it. And then
there are things on there like there are these electric toothbrushes that are marked down to now I can't remember. They're I think they're marked down to $8 for 3 electric toothbrushes. I did.
Well, and you posted one of those little
the scrubbers for
bathroom
the
scrubbers
bath and tile,
that are so hot right now.
I've never used one.
Oh, well, we just got one recently.
I want one.
And I think we bought it from Amazon.
Okay.
And it's like the kind that has all the different heads you can put on. It has a long arm and you can scrub your tub and stuff.
That's what I need because there are so many times I'm in my shower and I'm like, well, I'm not going to get to that corner.
Right,
you're just
too far.
I'm like, why is that color? I don't we'll get to it.
Well, maybe this transitions into the being 40 talk, but bending over.
Oh my,
it's
don't
the
want
worst
to do it.
part.
Don't want to do it.
Could I clean my tub with my feet? Man, it's rough. So anyway, but yeah, they come on the big poles and you can scrub. But we had just bought one from Amazon and then you linked one. And so it like, if I had seen that, I totally would have bought yours and thrown you commission
because it was
and gotten
discounted
a
a
deal.
ton. Like I think that one was 50% plus something else.
Right.
And there's like, I just saw some pimple patches are on there. So I want to go add those because we do need, everyone can use those. I love those. And I put, what was some rant? There was like a Bluetooth, waterproof Bluetooth speaker. Anyway, there's like all categories, all kinds of stuff on there. So I think I'm going to keep it geared toward things I'd be interested in. Yeah. So if anyone wants 50% off or more discount codes, so it's facebook.com/Lolo's Amazon deals. And I'll just post on there. I'll try to hop on once a day and just post things that are relevant, things that I would want. So it'll probably be home, beauty, fashion, fitness, stuff like that. But anyway,
can't hurt.
So yeah, so we'll see if that does anything. That's cool. That.
I feel like you have a lot of irons in the fire though. Like a lot, maybe that's the game. Like you have a lot of
that's just things. Through all the spaghetti on the wall.
Diversify the
It's
portfolio.
all currently sliding down the wall. Nothing's actually sticking. But maybe one will snag at some point and stick to the wall, and I'll be able to monetize something.
Well, we want to talk about this more later too, but I feel like we should find somebody who has figured it out and done really well, who's like similar, who's not like a pro in some other way, but like just a regular old mom or woman or man who has like started it on the side and then grown it into something legit.
Right.
It'd be cool to learn from somebody who did it, like how they figured it out.
Right, because I feel like I'm just watching these like YouTube videos of people who are telling me how to do it, and then I do that and it doesn't work. So I'm like, I need someone to hold my hand. But if anyone is listening and knows somebody or is somebody who either started a side gig or a side hustle and has become their full time, or it's still a side gig but brings in a ton of money, we would love to hear
their story.
Hear from you. Yeah, I want to hear how you did it and what tips you have for people who want to do that, because I'm failing at it.
Well, maybe it just takes longer too. Like maybe we're impatient. Maybe we just need to give it some time to figure it out. So So tell me about, you were telling me too that you were feeling like you're having kind of midlife crisis around work. I mean, I know that was a big part of why we started this project. It's like, we don't really want to go back to typical full-time work, but we need to do something. Yeah. Like, how are you feeling about that?
Well, so like, without like giving away too much about my clients, because I like to keep them protected, but my main client, that was the majority of my income, has gone through a massive restructuring. And so because of that, they haven't made decisions on social media for this year. And so that's fine, except the fact that that is my main income source. And the not knowing is like, oh, so should I find more clients?
Right.
Or
am I waiting?
Like basically, do I have nothing coming from that client for the foreseeable future, or do I have what I used to have? So it's kind of this, what's happening this year. And if I even had the idea of going and just actually getting a job again, like a real one.
Yeah.
And not working for myself, because I feel like part of me, I've been doing this by myself at home for 8 years. And there are definitely things about working in an office that I miss so much. Like,
really?
I miss collaboration. I miss people. I miss office drama. I miss gossip. I miss, going to get coffee at the little break room and gossiping. And I don't know. I just like, there's so many things that I miss. And also, since I've been running things for 8 years, I'm like, wouldn't it be fun to be a piece of a team again and not have to run it all and just be in charge of this section and not having to do it all? Like, and not being responsible for everything. So that sounds like a weird, entitled, braggy thing to say, but
no,
it's just very much like, hey, maybe I don't want to be the top anymore, and I would like to just be a piece in this team,
a part of something.
Yeah, a part of something. And so our where I live, the city of Fort Collins, had listed a position that was like a communications specialist, right? And so I started reading about it, and anyone who follows me knows this. I'm obsessed with this town. This
you are.
If you've ever been to Disneyland, like Main Street Disneyland is based off of Fort Collins Old Town. So where I live, our downtown is based off of, or was the inspiration for Disneyland. It is just the cutest. I love it. So I have thought before about applying for committees or boards with my city just to be more involved in it, because we really love it here. And so when this position opens, I'm like, okay, here's an opportunity.
Could be perfect.
To be a piece of a team in communications, which is, my background. And it was actually like, there's someone who works there who went to OU. So that was like a cool bond. So I was like, that's fun. Yeah. We were talking on LinkedIn about, the old journalism building we used to all work in and stuff. Nice. So it was really fun. But So I started really thinking about, okay, do I just do this? Do I go back to a full-time job? And it was a hybrid. It was like 2 to 3 days in the office and then remote. And it just sounded so fun. And then I started really thinking, and part of like our phase of life we're in right now with my family, because of our flexibility, I'm able to do all the school pickup, all the school drop off. I volunteer at all the class parties. I'm technically a room rep and on JPT or our PTO. So I'm able to do all that, and I love doing all that. So my mom was a stay-at-home mom, and she always came to all of my events, and I loved it. And I was never one of those people who got embarrassed by it. I always wanted my mom there.
Yeah.
And right now my kids are like that, and I really want to soak that up.
You want to like do it while they are into it.
And also we travel a lot, and we invested in a cabin in Red Feather with a couple other families, and so we like to go to the cabin when we want. And so it started to get to where I was like, all right, this position only came with not much PTO time. And so I started talking to my husband about like, okay,
like how does this actually work? Yeah. Like how are we practically making it work? Like you're going to have to do after school care.
He would have to do some pickups and drop-offs.
Yeah.
Which he can do. He works from home as well. The company he works for is awesome and flexible, and he has an unlimited vacation policy. And so it's very much like, well, I want unlimited vacation too, because I don't want to have to, like I'm able to, like we were just talking about all the sick days our kids are taking. I need to be able to be home for that,
Right.
And so I think I just kind of was finally like, okay, right now I'm not going to dive into. Also, I don't know. My client could come back and say, turn it back on full blast. And then that would be really hard to be doing both things.
Right.
So I think after a couple conversations with some friends and my husband, we were kind of like, all right, that doesn't seem like exactly
what we want.
Perfect fit for us right now.
Yeah.
That's not saying I would have gotten the position if I applied, but even just applying. But I mean, I had to update my resume. I didn't own a resume file because last time I updated my resume was 15 years ago.
Oh my gosh.
No longer on my hard drive. Like, I just had to go on Canva. I'd be like, what is resume? Like, I'd be like,
what is resume?
What goes on this?
How do we do this now?
Oh my God. I had to go to my little brother because he's like a real working person. Like, out of my whole family, he's like, him and his wife
they're professional.
They're the professionals. And so I had to send it to them, and oh, bless their heart. They were like, they like really put passion into this resume update. And I was like, God, what am I doing? These young kids know what they're doing, and I do not. So anyway, I have a resume that is updated now, should I decide. But after a lot of conversation, I think we just decided, you know what? Like, one thing I learned from an old boss was you should never have one client take up more than 50% of your income, because you need to be able to afford to lose them because of this. Yeah. So it's like, okay, I should have listened to him a while back. So now I'm sitting in that. Like, I'm like, okay, this is my bed. I made it. I need to just reach out and get some of my own clients, because like, as I talk about social media, even though I've burnt out on social media, I do know a lot about it, and I know how to make businesses successful on it. So if I just need to, the one hard part will be like smaller businesses obviously don't have as much money to, spend on this kind of stuff. So I'll have to do it a lot cheaper than I was doing it for some other clients. But if I get enough of them, and just like create a package that's, they stick within that package.
Well, I have two questions. Do you still think you want to entertain a total career change, and it's just like having the time to figure out what that is? Or what do you think?
It's like, yes. So ideally, well, now that I just sat here and said I want unlimited vacation and I want this and that, you can't go back to school when that's what you're wanting,
right?
And then also, like, I would have to
go back to school to change your career,
depending on what I changed it to.
Depending on, yeah.
And then also, like, I'd have to be entry level somewhere. So that doesn't come with
depending
all the perks. So yes
but
and
listen,
no.
I'm very comfortable with having all these options. Well, and to say too, I know I'm in a similar situation, that you guys are in a situation as a family that you can do that.
Yes,
like you can opt out.
So grateful.
Because I know families who don't have that option and have to take jobs that they do not want to do, and for health insurance, for pay, for all of that. And obviously we are in different situations where we can do that. We can make that. We have that choice. Right. Which is a privilege for sure.
It is.
But I mean, it's hard to think about, especially when, and I think when an opportunity comes along in a more traditional job that would be perfect for you, that really puts it to the test of like, okay, you have to really try it on, and then really think about like, okay, what are the practical implications? Like, who's going to pick up the kids? How are our days going to work? Who's going to do this? Who's going to do that? And then not to mention, like for us too, I think about like all the household labor
Yeah.
that now I don't have time during the day to chip away at,
Yeah.
like if I went back to full-time work, like when would we'd have to go back to getting everything done on the weekends or at night, which is a
Yeah.
lot. I don't know if you feel that way too, but
Well,
like
and
that's
just like,
hard
I
to think
mean,
about.
working out is very important to me. I need that
Yeah,
hour. So if I had a regular full, and I know this is what most of the world does. So
right.
I understand my privilege and my entitlement in saying this. But I was like, I have to get
When
up
would I do
before,
that?
I
Yeah,
have to get up before the kids wake up and try to go work out, or like get home from a long day at work,
yeah.
be like see my kids for a short amount of time and then go work out, or I don't know. I understand a lot of people do this. But it was kind of jarring to me. So I was like, I'm not ready. So yeah, I think ideally what I wish would happen is that this main client does come
Come
back
back.
for,
Yeah,
even at a discounted rate or whatever it may be, just so I know I have some guaranteed income while I
yeah,
figure out what's next. So I
yeah,
think that would be, I'd love to have income plus time to discover, because I think this whole thing did teach me, like, I want a change of some sort.
yeah, yeah.
I definitely do want to do something
Different.
different, but what it is
But
the
what is
question.
it? And what
Yeah.
is it that will also work with my life and the things that
Right.
are most important to me, which is like my
Yeah.
kids and my family and that finding
Yeah.
that balance and being able to do the things you want to do.
Right. I went to
Preach.
lunch with I went to lunch with another mom yesterday, and she just recently lost her main income source too. And so we were just kind of talking, and we were like, ideally, what is it? What happens? Like,
Yeah.
best case scenario. And I was like, I think honestly what I enjoy is being creative. So I think I wish I could figure out a way, which I'm pretty sure I could figure it out if I really worked on it, is making cake content. So making
Mm-hmm.
cakes and selling them is not a big income earner.
Mm-hmm.
I just from experience, I know that that's not where you're going to make big bucks. So, but making content and like how-to videos or
Yeah.
tutorials or stuff like that, and then figuring out how to monetize that. And she was like, yeah, you
Yeah.
could even like sell cake classes. Like,
Yeah.
I could do one just on the different buttercreams I make, because I do different kinds of frosting and stuff. So
Totally.
it's like that. But then I'm always like, but that content is free online. Who's going to pay for it? So it's just hard
Well,
to,
it's just like figuring out how to differentiate yourself and like what's the
right.
resource you wish you had when you were
Yeah.
learning all of that. That's where you found it, right?
Yeah.
Like YouTube and stuff. But maybe there's a way to find a niche in
Yeah. So if
that.
I could do it all in one place, that'd be great. Cause I was finding my
Right.
like tutorial videos all over the place. So,
Yeah, maybe
so
it's like
maybe,
more comprehensive. Like, hey,
yeah.
you want to do this? Like, I
Right.
have everything you need.
Right. So I feel
Interesting. I like
like
that
that,
idea.
because then I'm being creative.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing it digitally.
Yeah.
And then there is a product at the end that I could then, just go give to the fire department down the street or something. But because I'm
Yeah.
not eating all that
The
cake.
cakes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
you need
far too
someone to
much
eat the
cake.
cakes. That's probably
Right.
the easy
Yeah.
part,
So
hopefully.
that would be my ideal.
Okay. All right.
So
Interesting.
yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, I am in a similar situation where my work with the client I had is winding down, but I actually have a potential new like agency relationship that I've been sniffing out a little bit. So that might turn into something, might not. It's kind of, we're just like, I'm early, just like introducing myself to them, but they might have
Yeah.
some work that would be a fit for me. So that would be cool
That's cool. Yeah.
if that worked out. But same situation, like I would love to just have something that allows me to keep being flexible and
Right.
be able to do all the things. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Because you also do you're in charge of all the pickup and drop off, right?
Yes, yeah. For the most part, my daughter leaves really early in the morning, but she takes the bus. But yeah, and then we have to wait an hour to take my son to preschool,
Yeah.
which is annoying for just like the flow of the morning. And
Right.
then yeah, my kids are out of school at 2:30 and 3:30, which is like
Yeah.
that's my whole. I mean, I know it sounds silly, but you just
But
feel
no,
like
it
you
goes
spend
by
your whole
so fast.
afternoon picking kids up because you pick one
Mhm.
up and then you come home and then like
Yeah.
in 20, 30 minutes you have to leave to pick up another one and then you come home
Right.
and then it's like, all right, well, I'm not getting anything done during all of that. So anyway,
Yeah.
woe is
I feel
us.
you.
Our lives are so hard. There's
I
really not.
know.
They're great, but
Yes.
these are just the things
Oh,
you are figuring out,
yeah.
And then on top of all of that, you have to do it while you're getting old.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, okay, so I know you. So one thing you and I have been discussing is for this podcast, like some of our challenges are a month long, some are shorter, some are longer. We don't want to bore you guys with the day to day of hearing when there is no progress, or if it's just like, yes, I wrote some more. But we'll
Yeah.
do like when it's not like a big revelation, we'll give quick updates, and then we have other stuff we want to talk about. Feel free to stick around for it. You don't have to, but Did you want to give any quick update on your poetry and waking up early?
Oh yeah. I'm still doing it. I have been hit or miss on waking up early especially with daylight savings.
Yeah.
It really was tough. And then like the thing is I'll have like a hard night, like the kids will be up or the other night my daughter who's older woke up at midnight and just came into our room and had a tantrum at midnight for like I don't even know how long. And we were both like, this is cool. What are you doing? Go back to bed. Go away. Anyway, she was fine. She was just, I don't know, she's going through something. And so like stuff like that will happen and then I will like be like, well, sleep. I'm gonna sleep because I didn't sleep. And so anyway, so that happens enough times and then it's just hard to be consistent with it. So I gotta figure it out. I gotta figure out how to get on a regular routine. But I am slowly keeping up with the writing. I'm just doing it at a much slower pace than I originally thought. But I still have my open mic on the calendar for 2 weeks. So I'm still planning to do that. Yeah. We'll see. I'm still chipping away at it. I know. It's making me a little nervous. If you bail out of that,
I do not blame you. But I fully support you if you do it either way.
I feel like I have to like make myself do it. And I think, you know, I don't know. I don't want to bail. Yeah. So I'm going to keep chipping away at it.
And then quick update on feet pics. My feet pic model was out of town. Yeah. She's finally back in town, but now has a parent figure in town. And she doesn't want this parent figure to know what she's doing. So we can't shoot feet pictures until later this month. So update on that. We're not making progress on that yet because we don't have pictures. But there was also a discussion about should we use our own phone or like these photos will always be traced back to my phone, like in the metadata and whatnot.
Yeah, that's right.
Do I care? They're not my feet. But is it weirder to have a phone full of someone else's feet?
I mean,
or it's like, you know how your phone creates different videos, like photo albums and videos and sends them to you. I'm just gonna have like
with like music
albums play. Like so
it'll be especially funny if you never delete them and then in like a year you get like last year. Foot in sand, foot at beach. So more to come on that.
I'm trying to decide if I care. Do I care? I mean, I don't plan on getting into politics and anyone being like 10 years ago she had foot pictures on her phone, you know.
Well, at the end of the day, they're just feet, right?
Right. And they're not mine.
It's harmless.
And it's for the podcast.
So more to come on that. We'll have foot photo shoot scheduled, and then we'll be able to report more. And we were talking about, I might be jumping around too much, but we were talking about, we want to ask listeners, would you guys be interested in hearing from somebody in that industry, whether they're like successful on OnlyFans or digital, just like online content producers who are making photos and videos, whether it be feet pics, probably just feet pics, but maybe some people who do some other tangential stuff.
Yes.
Would you guys be interested in hearing from somebody who does that professionally and actually makes like a decent amount of money? Is that interesting? What kind of questions would you have for that person? Are you just curious, or is it something people are actually interested in trying?
Yeah. And feel free, like send us, I don't know if there's a way you can message us anonymously, but we will not judge you.
Yes.
We listen and we don't judge.
Yeah, exactly. We can put something up on social so people maybe can answer a poll that way, or we can figure out a way to do it anonymously. But yeah, let us know. And then likewise, we would love to interview and bring some people on the podcast who are similar phase of life and who also have like made a big change or changed their career or done something totally new and outside of the box for them. And we would love to tell their stories or have them on to tell their own stories. So if you know somebody like that, or if you are somebody like that, let us know and share with us. I think it makes us all feel a little less alone in this. So I feel like we're all like, I didn't know this was coming, and it just, boy, did this midlife crisis / career crisis / all of it just hit me. And I feel less alone in it because I've been talking to other people who are in similar situations. So we'd love to hear how you pull yourself out of it. Yes, for sure. Yeah. Did you want to chat about, we've been talking about just, you know, at this age and at this, I say it like we're so old. We're not that old, but I have always like said that I feel like at the age of like 35, because that's probably when because you want to be a little preventative. So at 35, you should have a new doctor, like a doctor that specifically deals in women 35 and up. And like, because it's been such a struggle to find a doctor who listens to you and really wants to get down to why your symptoms are like this, and not just call it, oh, if you lost 5 pounds, you feel better. If you, or like, hey, why don't you do some cardio or something? And it's like, you don't know what I do. Like, I do cardio. So
Because like I had a friend
Or
who would say that.
you're
like
just
she
getting
was like,
closer to 40. That's
right.
part
I had
what you do.
one of my good friends. She was like, yeah, my doctor just said, yeah, just like add some cardio to my life. And she was like, I just ran a half marathon. Like she had just run a half marathon, and they were like telling her to just add cardio to solve any of her problems. And so I just feel like after 35, I mean, your doctor, no matter what your age, should always listen to you. But as we approach things that are about to be changing, I feel like someone needs to be there to hold our hands through this.
Yes.
And just like, especially, I think now it's more talked about, things like perimenopause and aging and stuff like that. Now is a little more open because of social and because of influencers, and it didn't used to be, which in a way, like, so like my parents didn't talk to me about it. Like now I can ask my mom questions about it, but I mean, she doesn't remember like when she was going through it. I'm sure she didn't have notes on it. And it's probably like pregnancy and childbirth where you kind of block it out and don't remember all the details. So so what are your thoughts on this?
Oh my gosh. Yes. Well, I feel like there is such a cultural shift to where now people are really, it almost feels like trendy. Like people are talking about perimenopause and there's so much more awareness, which thank God there's just more awareness about it, like what it is and when it starts. Like you can actually start to feel so many of these symptoms before you actually reach menopause. It can be up to 10 years before then that you start experiencing it, which if you think about it and you're doing the math, right, is now-ish or could be. It's different for everybody. And so, yeah, it's just wild to like, and the healthcare thing is so hard. So like we moved to a new state a little over 2 years ago. And so we had to find new doctors, you know, and dentists and everything. And I had the hardest, I'm still struggling with it, finding a good primary care provider because I found one that's like just a family doc, just like kind of general services doctor. And I don't know, I just wasn't impressed. Like, she just didn't seem that tuned in to like anything specific to women's issues and healthcare and hormones. And she was just kind of, you know, I don't know. It was just like, yeah, you're getting older. That's just how it goes. And yeah, get your mammogram and like check, you know, and that's it. And I'm like, okay, but like, I don't feel great. And it's, you know, and yes, I'm trying to do all the things that we all know we're supposed to do. But even so, I just feel like now everything is harder. Like, I don't know about you, but like, I take my multivitamin in the morning. I have my collagen in my coffee. I do all of these things just to have like a baseline, not even feel great, just to like be okay.
Right.
And obviously fitness and like being healthy and my nutrition is like a huge part of that. And there's always ways I could be getting better. But I don't know. There's just your body starts changing in weird ways. Like my skin is different. My hair is different.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're feeling any of that.
Well, yeah. I mean, I went to, right when I moved here, same thing. It was like 3 years ago. And I posted in a mom group to be like, if you have a doctor who really listens to you and, you know, specifically a female doctor who will, not like a gyno, but like just a lady doctor who will like specifically listen to all your problems and isn't just trying to prescribe things or, you know, call it something else, let me know. And so there were a few recommendations for this one woman. I was all excited. So I scheduled my appointment and I was like, I just want to set up like a well visit. And I got there and it was her like PA or like her student doctor. I think it was a student doctor. And that wasn't even her.
You're like,
she did my whole appointment. And then at the end of it, she came in and just shook my hand. Like she did come in and introduce herself. And I was like, well, that's not at all what I just wanted. Like, now I still don't know you and you don't know me. And how often if I come here would I have, you know, your student's doctor or you? And I mean, I fully support, you know, that. I'm glad they can learn that way and everything. But for me, I was like, I want someone, and she was like much younger. I want someone like who knows what I'm going through and wants to talk. So finally, someone else recommended this doctor that I just went to, and it's at an OBGYN. So technically, she's OBGYN, so she can't be my primary, which I didn't realize until after. But this lady, she sat down, she set aside a whole 45 minutes and she's like, anything you want to talk about, any questions, any concerns, like anything I wanted to. So I'm like, let's talk about my sleep. Let's talk about, and my big concerns are how I cannot lose weight. I have gained a good amount of weight since moving here. To be fair, I lost a lot of weight before moving here. So I think this is just the size my body wants to be, which I need to, I guess, learn to love. I want to fall asleep by 2:00 every single day, like no matter how much sleep I got the day before. So I was just like, am I in perimenopause? I just wanted, because unless you ask, no one's ever going to check this stuff.
No.
And she ran like the lab she gave me to give to the lab. She ran every single blood test you can run. Like it was insane the amount of blood work she did, but like no one else has ever done that. And so one time I'd asked that previous doctor, like, I want to know, like, where am I at hormone wise? Is anything out of balance? And she had said, well, without a baseline, there's no point in running these. I was like, well, then get a baseline. That's what are we doing here?
I was like, well, you can check, but it's not. Or I got like the highest level, testing, blood work. And it's like, well, you're not in menopause. I'm like, well, no, I can tell you that. Like, I know that. But that's not helpful to me. Like, anyway, but yeah.
So I love that I found this doctor. And she then scheduled an appointment to sit down and run through every single result of that test. Like,
wow.
And what was great about that, the good news is, she's like, you're so healthy. Everything looks like, she's like, good job on, like, she would give me a, like, good job with this. I'm like, thank you. I'm so glad my lipids are great. Like, I don't know. It was just funny the way she would do it. But she also would, like, draw a picture of, like, a blood cell and tell me, like, what each one of these things was even doing. Yeah. And I was like, wow, this is the coolest ever. Love her. And then the only findings we could really see was that my B12 was low and my vitamin D was low. So, and then I did get like a weird reading. I think it was my A1C was a little bit high, but my my fasting was perfect. And one other blood work with the sugar levels was perfect. So she's like, I don't know why. So then she did another test to make sure I wasn't pre-diabetic. And I passed that one. But I just love that she was like, I'm going to get down to why. Yeah. She was like, at one point I was talking about my sleep problems. She was like, I got deep into a Reddit thread. She was like, I was trying to figure out how to. She's like, there's a whole community of you guys that are like hooked on Unisom. And she's like, I got deep in a Reddit thread to like figure out how we can, fix it. I'm like, thank you for doing research for me. Like I don't know. So I'm glad I found her. But again, she's only OBGYN, so technically not primary. So
that's the other thing is like in my former lives and when we lived in Texas, like I had an OBGYN that I loved and really was a primary care. And then both of my babies were delivered by a midwife who I also really loved. And she was a part of an OBGYN office. So she had like support of if I needed care. And there was also PAs there for like primary or, healthcare otherwise. And so they really provided like whole woman care is what they called it. And I would go to them for like my regular annual stuff. And anyway, so I didn't really feel like I could get a midwife again because I'm not pregnant.
I know. But that's what we need. We need
I need like
a gracefully aging midwife. We need a midwife who helps you through because midwives are just so caring.
A menopause midwife.
Yes,
like,
we need a menopause midwife.
You through birth. You need someone to coach and guide you through menopause,
aging,
aging.
But not even just that. Like I grew up going to dermatologists my whole life because I have psoriasis and I dealt with it my whole life. Never once has a dermatologist been like, "Here's a skincare routine for you. Like this is what you need to be doing with your skin." And I'm like,
I don't care.
Why? After I turned 30, were they not like, "Now let's talk about"? So I did ask my dermatologist recently, like, "Hi, I have some some sagging and some bagging. Let's talk about and some wrinkles." And she gave me she was like, I'm going to refer you to this doctor. And I called and it was a plastic surgeon. And I was like, thank you. Thank you. But that's not what I was asking for.
That's what I did. So I went to a dermatologist because I get screened. I'm at like a very high risk for skin cancer. So I get screened. Everybody should do that.
Yes, everybody.
And so he looked at all my moles and told me I was normal. And then I was like, can we talk about, I have some weird stuff happening. And he was like, he was not entertained with that. No. He did not want to get into it. And he was like, you can get it lasered off if you really want. And like,
it's like, that's not what I was asking.
So same, like, where's the proactive, like, I don't know. Or maybe
before I talked to you, I didn't know I was supposed to wash my face twice a day, like with real face wash and not makeup wipes.
Well,
which I will say, right after our last podcast, I did go buy the headband with the wrist little washcloth things, and I've been washing my face in the morning and at night with real face wash. I use my makeup wipe and then my face wash.
Yeah, I do that too.
And I'm still just using like a retinoid and I have a day cream and a night cream, but I've not added a serum because I don't know which one to do, but I'm working on it. But again, where is my midwife, my menopause midwife, to tell me these things?
Right.
Who am I supposed to trust?
Start using retinols, to start using like things.
Because instead we're just like leaning on these influencers and they're getting paid to hawk these products. And I'm like, who do I really trust?
Right. Exactly. That's where I'm learning things.
Yeah.
It's so true. And like, we had this whole skincare thread and talking about all kinds of things and like breaking it down to the basics.
And I've learned that you guys all were much further advanced in the skincare like knowledge department than I was. So I was like, I didn't know there were all these serums, and I had literally had to ask, do I use the retinoid first or the moisturizer? So working on that, but I'm still mad there's not like a person to hold our hand through this and tell us what we need to be doing.
That's exactly what we need. Menopause midwife. Because I can't see an OBGYN because they're not a primary care, but I can't find a primary care that like cares about women's issues in the same way.
Yeah.
Anybody out there knows the secret? Let us know.
We're supposed to come open menopause midwife practice. I'll
I
do the
really
digital
love
marketing
it.
for it.
It's too bad that
Yeah.
takes a lot of medical training, or else we could just do
I
that.
know. We could just do that. That could be the answer to this.
Passionate about it.
Yeah. But we could do their marketing.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
Oh, man.
Brand you.
Yeah.
So yeah, getting old, it's not for the faint of heart.
It is
And
not.
also I had a friend this week tell me about starting hormone therapy, which
Yeah.
I was so impressed with. And she was experiencing a lot of like her symptoms were really tough. She like was all of a sudden wasn't sleeping at all. She
Yeah.
felt terrible. She was like really irritable. She was
Mhm.
like not herself.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was so cool that she was like, no, like I'm gonna go get help. So she like
Yeah.
went and like found a doctor who specializes in this and educated herself and got informed. And she was like, you know what? I learned that perimenopause is long. It's like it can be
Yeah.
10 years. And she's like, I am not down to suffer for that long. And I was
Yeah.
like, more power to you. So she
Yeah.
started it. She's been on it for a few weeks and she's like, I already feel better. And I'm
That's
like,
awesome.
why is that so
Yeah.
rare
Right.
as women? Like to me, that was so rare. And like I
And
was
that she had to go out of her way
refreshing.
and find that. It wasn't like it was offered to her.
Yes, she had to go out of her way, but then also that she just took control of like, I
Yeah.
don't want to feel bad. I want to feel better. And
Yeah.
this is going to be a long road. And so
Right.
I'm going to do something about it now. And I was like,
Yeah.
how refreshing is
I
that?
love
Like,
that. Yeah.
I love that for you. And like, maybe
Yeah.
I'll do the same. Like, it's just not the mindset I feel like we have been trained to
Right.
have about our health. I
Mhm.
guess we're supposed
Well,
to just
it just
bear
really,
it.
we're just supposed to bear it. Because I was talking to that new OBGYN. I was talking about how the IUD I have used to be good for 3 to 4 years.
Mhm.
And then they said now it's good for 5. And now they're saying it's good for like 8. And a part of me is like, this thing has been in my body for a long time. I would like a new one. Like, I don't know. It freaks me
It
out.
just feels weird. Yeah.
Yeah. But so I had mentioned like, so I've had no periods on this IUD and I love that. Love that for me, for everyone around me. But just recently in the past 6 months or a year, like the symptoms are coming back. Like, no, I'm not having full on periods, but I'm having like, the cramps and the
Mhm.
bloating and my boobs hurt so bad. And so like all this stuff. And I'm like, I don't want this. I didn't sign
Yeah.
up for this. I have an IUD. So I was talking to her about it and she's like, oh, actually, yes, they're extended through 8 years for pregnancy prevention. But for the period symptoms and having periods, it's only good for like 5 years. And I was like, okay, so wait. And she's like,
Was
but
nobody going to mention that?
I was like, who was going to tell me that? And she's like, but what we can do is that we can say that you're having severe cramping and then get approved for a new one. And then that just puts me into a whole nother, just my disagreements with our health insurance, but whatever.
Yeah.
That they get to decide when I can suffer and when I don't. So whatever.
Preach.
But yeah, so anyone who has the Mirena IUD and is suddenly getting periods again, you can actually get a new one and get it approved as long as you have severe pain. So,
Yeah, hot tip, pro tip.
yes,
But
pro
that's
tip.
so classic of like, oh
Yeah.
no, but that's different.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, cool. Feeling good
So
is
annoying.
different.
Yes. Yeah.
Doesn't count.
So
Well, it's not for the faint of heart, but we're doing it every day, slogging
Yeah.
through.
we are. So if you want to rant about your hormones or your aging process, we're here, all ears.
Yes.
Or again, if you know of a menopause midwife, please send that information our way. Would love to
Yes.
talk to that person. But yeah, so I think we've annoyed you long enough today with, at least this time it wasn't talk of feet pics, just talk of
Yeah.
periods and whatnot.
Yeah, exactly. And let us
But-
know. Share your stories with us or
Yes.
people that you know who you think would be a great guest for us to
Yeah.
have. We would love to start having some people on. So
Yes.
send them our way.
And once again, rate, review, subscribe. You can follow us on social media at Are We Doing This Pod. We'd love to hear from you guys, and our inboxes are open.
Yes, let us know, and we'll talk to you soon.
Until next time.
Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.